Up next, Mother Teresa is buried in India today. A Montana axe murderer wants to be put back into society, and the World Dog Frisbee Championships. It's 10 o'clock. The news is next. A state funeral fit for a king for little Mother Teresa. Millions are mourning her loss across the globe. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer John. Mother Teresa's followers are promising to continue her mission of helping the poor and the sick. Many of the nuns she led cried as the woman known as the Saint of the Gutters was buried inside the convent she founded. Mother Teresa was eulogized at her state funeral as one whose goodness was contagious. Cynthia Bowers has our top story.
To the poorest of the poor, Mother Teresa was known as an angel. This morning, under a searing hot sun, the people of Calcutta began their final farewell to the world's most famous nun. Perhaps as many as 1 million people lined the streets as soldiers escorted her casket from the church. As the procession made its way through the streets, the cortege included many of the people she knew best: the handicapped, the sick, the orphaned, and those who helped her found her order, Missionaries of Charity. Inside the air-conditioned comfort of a stadium, representatives of 23 nations attended the funeral service. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton led the American delegation. The Pope's personal representative, the Vatican's Secretary of State, led the funeral mass. Mother Teresa's funeral comes only a week after millions gathered in London for the funeral of Princess Diana. Yet another elaborate ceremony filled with pomp and circumstance. This time for a nun who dedicated her life to helping the poor and impoverished. A frail woman with a careworn face and indomitable spirit who lived the life of a saint here on earth and who will almost certainly be bestowed true sainthood in death. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, New York.
While millions mourn her death, one Montana woman remembers when she knew the saintly nun. For months, the woman worked at her side in India. Cheryl Mosley met Mother Teresa in 1972 and last saw her 5 years ago in 1992. That's when these home videos were captured you're about to see. She says Mother Teresa taught her compassion and told her about two kinds of suffering. Suffering we inflict on ourselves with feelings of hate, pride, and greed, and suffering that makes us feel compassion for the poor, the sick, and the helpless.
You can see that for such a small... You always felt like she wanted to just hug you. And when she would look at people, when I would watch her look at other people, it was the same thing, and the same feeling that other people had towards her. Their eyes were just so lit up, and you felt like she was going to reach out any minute and embrace you.
Mosley says she hopes people will take the time to remember Mother Teresa by showing compassion to other people. At a time when scholars and public officials debate the merits of future sainthood for Mother Teresa, Mosley says she knows firsthand the woman is nothing less than a saint. Meanwhile, 1 week after the funeral for Princess Diana, Elton John's tribute to her is selling out fast. So fast, record companies are rushing to turn out more copies. 1 million more copies of Candle in the Wind are being pressed to keep up with demand. The CD single went on sale in Britain today, and many stores sold out within hours. Mark Phillips has that story.
Right after he had sung his reworked version of the song originally written for Marilyn Monroe at the funeral, he recorded it in a studio. The CD and tapes went on sale here at midnight last night. People lined up in their hundreds to buy it. By this morning, they couldn't put them on the shelves quickly enough. 250,000 copies were produced for sale this weekend. The major chains had sold out by noon. The proceeds will go to Diana's charities. Even the government has waived its right to the sales tax. People still can't get over Diana.
It just makes you cry. It's wonderful. It's really nice. It's lovely.
I want to give to the contribution. I'm sorry, it's still upsetting. And it's my little token.
And they weren't just buying one copy. This American bought 8.
They're for family members back in the United States. I felt it would be something good if the contributions are going to a very good cause.
Just as Diana was a phenomenon, so is the record. When it was played before a big soccer game here this week, 75,000 sang along. It'll go to the top of the charts with a rocket, probably before today is over. There are advance orders for 6 million copies here, for 4.5 million in the United States.
Now what's interesting is the world sale. There, the all-time champ is Bing Crosby, White Christmas, which has had over half a century to accumulate in excess of 30 million copies. That's a bit of a stretch, but I'm sure that globally this will go over 10.
As for Elton John himself, he's been calling for the mourning to end and was on TV here last night again saying it's time to move on.
The less said about it, from my point of view, is the better. I mean, I played at the service, and it was probably the biggest honor I've ever received in my life to be invited to the funeral, let alone sing at it.
They've started clearing up the flowers here, but that hasn't stopped people from bringing more. No song, no amount of time, it seems, can bring the commemoration of Diana to an end. The Candle in the Wind is supposed to go on sale in the U.S. this coming week. The question not is how many will be sold, but whether they can produce enough to keep up with demand. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
And the song goes on sale in the U.S. on Tuesday. In local news, a local man is recovering from a knife wound after an aggravated robbery at Fort Fizzle Park this morning. Jeffrey Cole was in the parking lot of the park just off of Highway 12 when a man threatened him with a handgun, cut him with a knife, and stole $150. The cut wasn't very deep, and Cole was treated and released from the hospital. Police are still looking for the man and a woman he was with. The victim describes him as in his 30s, between 5'10" and 6 feet tall, scruffy looking with shoulder-length dirty brown hair and a bad complexion. His female companion is described as about 30 years old with a thin face, pale skin, and dirty blonde hair. If you see anyone fitting these descriptions, police would like to hear from you right away. A man who killed his daughters with an axe wants to re-enter society and has decided to appeal a recent decision to keep him confined. Ronald Wooster killed his 2 young daughters in 1978 and has spent the past 19 years at the State Mental Hospital in Warm Springs. Less than 2 weeks ago, a district judge in Butte denied Wooster's 3rd petition for release. The judge found Wooster is still dangerous, but Wooster says evaluations show he's fit to re-enter society. And now he's appealing to the Montana Supreme Court. Some interesting new developments tonight in the Arizona bounty hunter murders. The Maricopa County attorney says the 5 men who shot a couple to death were using bounty hunting as a cover for burglary. Dressed in black, they broke into a young couple's home in the pre-dawn hours. A gun battle broke out and the couple was killed. The men had worked as bounty hunters before. They say they were looking for a bail jumper from California.
When we present this case to a jury, our primary theme is going to be that the bounty hunter was really a ruse to try to keep them out of trouble if something went wrong, but they were really going in there for other unlawful activity.
A grand jury upgraded their charges late last night from 2nd-degree to 1st-degree murder. In world headlines, Israel executed a deadly raid against Lebanese troops Friday and warned they won't hesitate to attack again if provoked. After dark, Israeli helicopter gunships attacked a Lebanese army base barely a mile outside its self-described security zone. The raids killed 6 Lebanese soldiers and wounded 6 others. A civilian woman living near the base was also killed. Today, Hezbollah announced that one of the dead was the eldest son of its leader, Sheikh Nasrallah. Hezbollah leads the resistance to Israel's occupation of the border zone. Bosnians are voting in very important elections this weekend. Croats, Muslims, and Serbs voted today in elections marked by boycotts and fraud incidents. International officials feared incidents of major violence, but luckily that was avoided. The elections will determine the ethnic and political makeup of local government in 136 municipalities. They are divided almost equally between the Serb entity and the Muslim Croat Federation that make up Bosnia. They should pave the way for hundreds of thousands of refugees to return to their former homes. Well, we'll take a break right here, but we have much more still to come tonight, including a health story about a woman who had her head detached and reattached by doctors. Plus, next we'll find out some of the practical uses of industrial hemp, and all the schools in Texas might soon get rid of their school books entirely. That story and more still to come on Montana's news station. Local news is first.
The news more Montanans depend on with Jennifer John and Will Manso Sports. You're watching the 10 o'clock news on Montana's news station.
To take advantage of the great deals at the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, you're going to have to act fast. Because with low financing and $1,000 cash back, our supply of neons will quickly expire. With the very same deal on Stratus, our inventory will rapidly run out. And with low financing and cash back on Intrepid, time isn't the only thing that's going to fly. I'd suggest you get to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance today. See the friendly Northwest Dodge dealer near you.
A warning to those who have trouble choosing their favorite Arby's sandwich. This commercial won't help. It's Arby's $5 value roundup. Do you want the tangy goodness of Arby's beef and cheddar? 3 for $5. The tender, juicy taste of Arby's regular roast beef? 4 for $5. Or the authentic flavor of the barbecue? 5 for $5. A deal so great the only problem is choosing a sandwich. See, I told you so. Arby's $5 value roundup. Decide soon.
Today, the second annual Hempfest took over Caras Park in Missoula. Hemp is one of the strongest and most versatile natural fibers in the world. You can make hemp clothing, hemp paper, hemp perfume oil. You can even turn hemp into fuel for your car. Organizers say they want people to know hemp is only a cousin to marijuana, and if you try to smoke it, all you'll get is a headache. They say if we used more hemp to make more everyday products, we wouldn't have to cut down so many trees. The Hempfest wrapped up about 11 o'clock tonight.
I think people are a little uneducated about some of these other really important facts. I think people have been ready to save the trees and save the environment for a long time, and this is a perfect alternative.
It's the second annual Hempfest at Caras Park. A state where students don't use textbooks in class. Sounds amazing, but if the head of the Texas Board of Education has his way, it could happen with technology taking the place of books. Mike Zintek explains.
Like that, right? And then after that, excuse me. 2 spell words.
Technology has invaded this Westwood Terrace Elementary 4th grade class. These kids in the Northside School District are using laptop computers to help them with their writing.
It's fun to use, say I'm using paper.
The chairman of the State Board of Education likes laptops a lot. So much that he thinks it would be a good idea to have laptops replace that tradition of the classroom, the textbook.
Jeremy, did you learn anything about spelling using your email?
It could cost the state almost $2 billion to buy new textbooks over the next 6 years. The Education Board chairman believes laptop computers could be the cheaper way to go. Companies could provide computers and software at discount prices. Information in the books would be on the software.
I don't see laptops replacing books, but I do see laptops and other computers being integrated into the curriculum where it gives the students a chance to expand their knowledge.
I think it's great, and I think that it would be a lot funner if we had all the books and the computers so we can do our stuff a lot faster.
Read it again, because see it says print again.
And there will definitely be much more debate over this issue in and out of the classroom. Mike Zentek reporting for CBS News.
Well, stay tuned for weather coming up next. Things are cooling off this week. Then later in health news, what every parent should know about child car seats. You might be surprised how delicate they are. We'll be back in 2 minutes on Montana's news station. Local news is first.
After last year's 1-6 finish, the Ronan Chiefs have nowhere to go but up. Head coach Rusty Weiser hopes to lead the Chiefs back to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. The offensive line is led by senior David Houck, and the Chiefs are hungry to make some noise in '97. Be true to your school.
Like our high school youth, we at Woody's are working hard to give our best performance. We give good advice and the best price. That's what you'll find every day at Woody's, your friendly lumber store, and so much more.
It's a Code Red clearance at Bloom's Furniture. Bloom's will sell regardless of cost to clear out a season's worth of surplus. Sofa and love seat less than $600. Queen size mattress set with 10-year warranty, $248. Oak Entertainment Center, $258. Save up to half off this, up to half off that, with no payments, no interest, not a thing till spring. Now, at Bloom's Furniture, Missoula, and Great Falls.
Don't miss Rankage Brothers 97 home clearance sale. Save over $18,000 on a Sierra 28 by 80 multi-section home. Save over $8,000 on a Westwind 16 by 80 single-section home. These model homes are professionally decorated inside and are mostly 3- and 4-bedroom models with 2- and 3- bathrooms. Low-interest, long-term financing is available, but you must hurry. The 97 model home clearance sale absolutely ends September 30th at Rankage Brothers in Missoula since 1958. No one has our experience.
It's a program about Montanans and the places they live. Produced and hosted by an award-winning reporter, photographer, and producer. This year, they've earned the title as Montana's Best. Ian Marquand and People and Places Under the Big Sky. Winner of the E.B. Craney Award as Montana's Television Program of the Year. We're proud of Ian, proud of our sponsors, and proud to share our best with you. Under the Big Sky.
And welcome back for a look at your weather forecast tonight. Kind of a nice day out there, a nice fall day with a little bit of rain in the afternoon. For the most part, plenty of sunshine and a light breeze blowing. Let's check out how things are shaping up tonight with a look outside at downtown Missoula with our sky cam. 61 degrees out there, cloudy skies, 60% humidity, and winds at about 10 miles an hour. Tonight in Kalispell, things are a little bit warmer. 63 degrees with cloudy skies and 46% humidity. Winds about 18 miles an hour in Kalispell. And 60 degrees tonight in Butte, partly cloudy and 72% humidity, kind of muggy in Butte tonight. And right now across the state, you can see for the most part, everyone is in the 60s with the exception of Miles City. That's pretty nice for after 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Partly cloudy skies, the general rule, with overcast skies, Kalispell, Missoula, and even some rain showers in Helena this evening tonight. And your highs for tomorrow, you can see most of the country will be in the 80s with the exception of the northeast and the northwest, and up through the Great Lakes area and on over through Montana. We'll be in the 70s. Very hot temperatures again in Southern California and parts of Texas and on through the Florida Panhandle. Tomorrow along the northwestern coast, rain in the forecast for Seattle, Portland, and Medford with temperatures ranging from the 60s up to 81 in Boise, 88 in Salt Lake. That's a big range there, and plenty of sunshine in Boise and Reno. Partly cloudy for Salt Lake, Casper, and Missoula as we move further inland. Missoula will be 77 and partly cloudy tomorrow, along with Kalispell, partly cloudy. All of western Montana really, with temperatures in the 70s, lower 70s for Kalispell, and then mid to upper 70s for the rest of us. Plenty of sunshine in eastern Montana, Glasgow, Miles City, and Billings. Beautiful weather there. And not bad for western Montana either if you like it fairly cool and kind of breezy. Tonight, overnight low expected is 42 for Helena, Butte, and Bozeman. It's getting chilly out there with some partly cloudy skies, maybe a chance to see some stars, but right now it's pretty cloudy out there with temperatures getting down to about the mid-40s overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, warming back up into the 70s, 71 for Kalispell, partly cloudy skies, 77 are expected high for Missoula, and 79 in Hamilton, 78 in Helena, 74 in Butte, and 80 is the expected high tomorrow in Bozeman with partly cloudy skies across the board. And checking in with our 3-day outlook east of the divide, Sunday partly cloudy with temperatures in the 70s. By Monday and Tuesday, expect some afternoon thunder showers with temperatures in the 80s on Monday and then in the 70s on Tuesday. West of the divide, things will be a little cooler this week. Partly cloudy skies across the board, but by Monday, we're going to be down into the 60s, and that should hang around through the end of the week. Well, just ahead, a look at health news, including the story of a woman with a bone deformity and how doctors were finally able to put her head on straight. Then later, stay tuned for the exciting highlights from the annual World Dog Frisbee Championships. That's later on Montana's news station. Local news is first.
Senior Rewards Checking from First Interstate Bank. The only checking package for those over 55 that rewards you with valuable benefits, including no minimum balance or service charges, interest paid, unlimited check writing, free personal check printing, a rate bonus on CDs, and many more package benefits. If you're 55 or older, this is the account for you. Come into First Interstate Bank today and get the rewards you deserve. First Interstate Bank, we put you first. Member FDIC.
At Ben's, the Panasonic Real Deal is your best catch this football season. Buy Panasonic DSS for just $149, and there's no rebate to wait for and no yearly programming commitment. Plus, you get 1 month free of USSB Entertainment Plus. And here's the kicker. If you're a new subscriber to DirecTV Total Choice, you can get NFL Sunday ticket for half price. That's up to 13 regular season games every Sunday for just $79.50 at Montana's value leader, Vans.
There's 1,000 stories in the naked city. This is one of them.
My eaves are peeling and my color is beginning to fade.
Perhaps more sleep and a healthier diet would help, ma'am.
I was referring to the exterior of my bungalow.
Then I suggest you visit the painting place at Missoula Ace Hardware, ma'am.
Can they help me out with expert advice and quality paint?
Yes, ma'am. They have everything you need to do the job just like the pros.
Watch it, wise guy.
I was referring to the painting, ma'am.
Missoula Ace Hardware in Trumper's Shopping Center.
Bitterroot Furniture presents People and Places Under the Big Sky. In 1932, the United States and Canada entered into an agreement linking Glacier and Waterton National Parks as the world's first international peace park. So while every season is special in Glacier and Waterton, this 65th anniversary of the Peace Park is even more so. The people and places of Montana are among our greatest treasures. Bitterroot Furniture is proud to bring them to you under the big sky.
And now it's time to take a look at health news tonight. A British woman with a bone deformity in her neck just had some amazing corrective surgery. In a pioneering operation, surgeons detached her head from her spinal column and replaced it correctly. The deformity left 36-year-old Bridget Fudgel with her head permanently lowered and turned to the left. During a 17-hour operation conducted in February, a neurosurgeon cut into the back of her neck to expose the vertebrae. The skull was then returned to a forward-looking position. It was fixed in place with a metal plate and 2 screws. During the most critical part of the operation, her head remained attached to her body only by the spinal cord, a major artery, and the skin of her throat. Pretty amazing. Well, the leading cause of death among kids ages 14 and under is not cancer, disease, or random acts of violence. It's car accidents. The Missoula Safe Kids Coalition says the reason kids become injured in most accidents is because their car seats are old or defective. Today, the coalition launched a citywide car seat safety program in Missoula. Chris Porter reports.
All these people here that are here today, they're concerned about their kids. You know, they took the time to come down here, wait in line, and have their car seat checked out.
Today, the Missoula Safe Kids Coalition held the first ever car seat checkup clinic at University Motors. Many families waited more than an hour to have their car seat inspected by trained volunteers for defects and other problems. The coalition decided to host the event after a recent survey found most car seats, in fact 4 out of 5, are used incorrectly.
Safety seats do wear out. The plastic in them isn't made to last indefinitely, and findings now are that they should be replaced after about 6 years.
Monson says seats more than 6 years old are twice as likely to fold up in an accident. He says car seats become damaged very easily. That's why if the seat is ever involved in an accident, it's important to throw it away, even if it's only a fender bender.
I would not recommend buying a safety seat at like a garage sale or something like that because you don't know the history of it.
Harris says if you buy a used car seat, it's impossible to know how many accidents it's been in, how old the seat is, or if the seat has been recalled for any safety reason. He doesn't recommend borrowing a friend's car seat for the very same reason.
They have to be very snug. They've got to set in on the seat and actually become part of the car seat itself.
The coalition says the #1 mistake parents make is buying a seat that doesn't fit their car. They say always make sure the model of the seat is compatible with the kind of car you drive. In Missoula, I'm Chris Porter for Montana's news station.
And here's a side note to this story. Right now, it's against the law for parents not to have their kids properly restrained when they're in the car. Starting October 1st, the law is being expanded. The new law says if you have kids in your car, you must have them restrained, regardless of whether you're their parent or not. Well, coming up in sports, we'll check in with local high school hoops, plus all your critical highlights from the first Grizz game of the year in front of a packed hometown stadium. Will Manso has a big day in sports coming up next.
Rabbits? Quarter pounders.
Where's all the lettuce and tomato? It's in McDonald's new Quarter Pounder with lettuce and tomato. A fresh new look at a classic sandwich. Crispy lettuce, juicy tomato on a new sesame seed bun for just 99 cents.
How about that?
The new Quarter Pounder with lettuce and tomato, only 99 cents at McDonald's.
Better go check the wheat field.
You're going to want to take advantage of the great deals at the Dodge Big Summer Clearance before time runs out. You'll need to be quick on your feet to corner a Caravan with up to $1,000 cash back. And since after $750 cash back, Caravan is the lowest priced minivan in the industry, time isn't the only thing that's going to fly. Get to the Dodge Big Summer Clearance soon, because the clock is running. See the friendly Northwest Dodge dealer near you.
The Sapphire Gallery presents People and Places Under the Big Sky. In 1932, the United States and Canada entered into an agreement linking Glacier and Waterton National Parks as the world's first international peace park. So while every season is special in Glacier and Waterton, this 65th anniversary of the Peace Park is even more so. The people and places of Montana are among our greatest treasures. Sapphire Gallery is proud to bring them to you under the big sky.
On the next Psi Factor.
It's got me, doesn't it? The sickness.
The body count is rising.
8 deaths in 8 nights.
But is it a plague or the curse of an ancient ruin?
Death shall take the young one by one.
Plus,
Watch the road, Mom!
a fatal accident
Mom?
cannot separate a mother from her child.
I am your mother, honey.
On Psi Factor, Chronicles of the Paranormal, hosted by Dan Aykroyd.
Sunday at 11 p.m.
Well, it seemed to take forever, but the Montana Grizzlies finally got their chance to hit the field today in a regular season game. Before the game, the Grizz had 8 players ill with the flu, including 6 who were on IVs this morning. That's not exactly a good way to start the season. The Grizz entered the game ranked #1 in the nation in Division I AA. A tough test at home today versus 14th ranked Stephen F. Austin, and things not going the Grizzlies' way early. Coach Mick Dennehy watching his star quarterback Brian Ayotte go down in the first quarter. A scary moment. He goes down. Early reports indicate it is a sprained right knee. He would not return, though, in this game. Second quarter, we're tied at 3. Lumberjacks get into the end zone. Karan Coleman goes over the top for the TD. Stephen F. Austin up 10-3 at halftime. Third quarter, Grizz get on track after a fumble recovery. It's Darren Raul going deep to Raul Pacheco for the touchdown. 21 yards. We are tied at 10. Late in the third quarter, Grizz strike again. It's Raul this time to Travis Walker, who makes a spectacular catch. The bobble, the dive, and into the end zone. Make it 17-10 Montana. Then late in the fourth quarter, the Grizz looking for some insurance. They get it. Josh Brennan going off, but check out Mick Dennehy. He's saying, go get down that sideline, Josh. 79 yards for the touchdown, and that would seal it. Montana, the Grizz go up to the victory 24-10. Once again, I left the game with a knee injury, but with injuries and illnesses at all, it was a pretty good start for the Grizz. They'll certainly take it.
I don't know that I've ever played in a ball game where we've had so much adversity prior to the thing starting. Golly, we had 8 guys in the hospital with flu this morning. We lose our quarterback in the first series. You know, we had to find a way to get it done. I'm real proud of those kids.
We all pulled together and, you know, kind of picked up the slack. You know, it was the first start for a lot of us, so, I mean, it was just a great thrill to get out there and play.
No matter who was at quarterback, we hadn't played a game together yet, and I think it took time for us to kind of come together, kind of get used to who was calling the signals after Brian did get hurt, and then, but I thought we started to come together and find what we could do and how things would work out there.
Good start for the Grizz. Now more Montana football. This Montana State, the Bobcats, just like the Grizz, played their first game this season, but today the Cats hit the field hosting Chatteron State. MSU coming off a 6-5 year last season. They were 4-4 in the Big Sky. This, of course, a non-conference game against the Eagles as we go out to the highlights. And here we go. A beautiful day for football in Bozeman. Bobcats score first on a pass play. Rod Compson goes deep, 43 yards to Oscar Caballero for the quick 6. Cats up at 7-0 later in the half, trailing 10-7. Chatteron State comes back. Quarterback Trevor Moon escapes the tackle, tosses up the prayer. Jamie Dick is there, makes the move, goes in for the touchdown. Chatteron with a 14-10 lead at the half, but the Cats come out strong. Compson this time finds Scott Harry up the middle, 38 yards. They go on to the victory in this one. The final score, 24-14. More college football. This is a major upset in Division 1A. 12th-ranked Notre Dame putting it on Purdue, but Bob Davies' team got put on by the Boilermakers. First, though, Audrey Denson gets it, runs it out 16 yards for the touchdown, cuts the Purdue lead to 14-10, but by the fourth quarter, Ron Paulus dropping, looking to make something happen. Instead, oh, he does this. Adrian Beasley gets it. He's gone 43 yards for the touchdown, and the major upset, Purdue wins over 12th-ranked Notre Dame, the final 28-17. From all that football, we now go to little basketball. Last night, high school football stole much of the spotlight. Tonight, though, girls basketball took it right back. A busy evening on the courts. We started Missoula with the Big Sky Eagles playing host to Bozeman, and we get it going with Bozeman's Brianne Kotwitz. She pushes the ball up the floor, feeds it to Katie Boxmeyer, who hits the jumper off glass to give Bozeman the lead. Big Sky, though, firepower of their own. Danielle Carr makes the nice pass. Audrey Thompson is there with the nice up and under move. 4-2, more Eagles. Thompson this time ditches to Kim Schwenk, who hits the jumper just inside the three-point line. Eagles only down one, but Bozeman kept pace the whole way. Tammy Finley grabs the loose ball, and she banks it in, and the Hawks would hang on to win this exciting one. The final score, 44-43. Now we head out to some more basketball action, this between Valley Christian and Victor, and we pick things up with Marie Aha van der Veen. Yes, that's her name. Takes the pass from Ashley Malcolm, and she buries the jumper. Eagles up 4. Then it's Ashley Malcolm again. This time she takes the shot, hits the jumper. The Pirates, they were looking for answers, but they didn't have any. For Maria Ha with the great give, the great go to Bethany Rose. There's the give, there's the go, there's the layup. Eagles up 10. They go on to the victory in this one. The final score is 66-40. Jen, for the rest of the scores, check the roll right after sports. You'll get all the rest of the high school sports, football, basketball, top 10 football, baseball, everything you need to know as a sports fan. We can't show it all to you. I wish we could, but check the roll for that.
And, of course, the story of the day, the Grizz.
The Grizz, a good way to start the season. Boy, they didn't start off great, down by 7 at the half. Brian was hurt. 8 players with the flu, 6 on IVs this morning.
I'm sorry, but that's quite a viral strain. I mean, 6 young, healthy guys.
That is tough.
On IVs in the hospital.
Exactly. We sound like we need to. We sound like we need to get on IVs. What's going on here?
We'll be right back.
When you think about shopping for furniture, there's really only one place to go, Conlon's Furniture.
And this week, you'll find extra special values throughout the store, so why shop anywhere else?
Buy this living room group at Conlon's for just $5.99.
This beautiful Cochrane sofa for only $6.99.
This oak computer desk just $1.99.
Or this entertainment center for only $2.49.
Bedding starts at just $49 each piece.
Plus, 90 days is the same as cash.
When it comes to home furnishings, there's just one place to go, Conlon's Furniture.
Why shop anywhere else?
It's Chevy's year-end sale. The biggest values, the biggest savings around are at your Chevy dealers. Financing as low as 2.9% or cash backs up to $2,000. Your Chevy dealer has the truck or car you're looking for. Selection is great. 2.9 financing or cash back up to $2,000 means you'll get more, not pay more.
Hurry, this sale ends soon at Carl Tyler Chevrolet.
16 K9 Frisbee champions and their owners competed today in our nation's capital for the title of top dog. The 1997 K9 Frisbee World Finals kicked off on the grounds of the Washington Monument. This is the 23rd annual World Finals of the Alpine K9 Frisbee Disc Championship. The dogs and their owners are judged on showmanship, leaping agility, degree of difficulty, and execution. Barking rights as the new champions went to Melissa Heater and Ariel Assa of Cartersville, Georgia. Heater is the first woman to win the title, and she was the first person there that we saw in the video. Pretty exciting.
Very interesting. Nice music with the dogs there. A good little beat. By the way, I got to point something out, by the way. If you're wondering, Montana did not beat Cal State Fullerton in soccer 53-0. It was actually 5-0. But it's still a win.
Well, while we're confessing, I must say that I forgot to put my mic on after sports.
That's okay.
Oops. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
The Great American Ford Sales Event is here. That means you can drive away in a Taurus, America's best-selling car, with $2,000 cash back or low 4.8% financing. That's $2,000 cash back on any Taurus, sedan, or wagon in stock. Or you can get low 4.8 financing for 48 months. It's all happening right now at the Great American Ford Sales Event. Get $2,000 cash back or low 4.8 financing when you drive away in a Taurus. So get to the Great American Ford Sales Event today, only at your Montana Ford dealer.
September 27th, take a step back in time. Bring your friends and family to the 18th annual Macintosh Apple Day at the Ravalli County Museum in Hamilton. You'll find apple cider fresh from the press, apple butter bubbling over an open fire, the biggest bake sale under the big sky, arts and crafts, a grand farmer's market, kids games, and live music all day. Don't miss this old-fashioned Apple Day, 9 to 4, September 27th in Hamilton.
You're watching KPAX, Channel 8, Montana's news station.
Captain's personal log, September 2nd.